To my subscribers, thank you for tuning in once again. If you are new, welcome to JT on the Go. This is part 6 of my 8-part series about the Disney Treasure cruise ship. If you haven't watched parts 1 through 5, I recommend you check them out before watching part 6. It is our last day at sea as we are heading to Castaway Cay. However, there was a storm that swept through the region we are crossing, and we woke up feeling the ship swaying a bit. Remember, you can order room service, but I prefer the Marceline Market for breakfast. There's something for everyone. Smoother seas are expected by the afternoon. In this episode, we will be touring the parts of the ship that I didn't get to in parts 2 and 3. But before we get started, I would like to point out this lovely painting I found by the stairs. It conveys a message. The message is that the Disney Treasure is joining the Disney Cruise Line family by catching up to the other Disney cruise ships already in service. I also went for another workout in the Senses Fitness. Let's talk about the Grand Atrium. The characters that greet people in the atrium are Aladdin and Jasmine on the magic carpet. When stepping into the Disney Wishes Grand Atrium, it's like stepping into an enchanted castle. But stepping into the Treasures Atrium is like entering a whole new world, and it truly is, in my opinion, a new fantastic point of view. There's also the Genie's lamp right here. I don't know if he's in there or not because he's not coming out when I rub the lamp. The seas are rough today. Some passengers did get seasick, and one actually threw up in one of the ship's 16 elevators. I did not get motion sickness, but I had to take Slade, a friend I met on the cruise, to the outside part of Deck 4 to get some fresh air. When I was filming a clip like this, some water was actually thrown straight into my face because of the speed we were traveling in combination with the unsettled seas. Fun fact about the Disney Treasure, the ship actually participated in a rescue effort when traveling from Europe to Port Canaveral. At 8:30 on a Sunday morning, the U.S. Coast Guard got a call about a 50-foot catamaran sailboat sinking off the coast of Bermuda. The Disney Treasure was 80 nautical miles away from the boat when they got the distress call, and the ship turned around and went to help them. When the ship got there, it launched one of its lifeboats to bring all 4 passengers on board. The whole rescue operation took just an hour. On all of our days at sea, we were traveling into the wind. Outside of 1923, there are many artifacts. Some of them were art that was created when the ship was under construction. They made models and sketches to get a clear understanding of what this ship was going to look like. It's one of the many aspects of Walt Disney Imagineering. What we see here are some items that date back to the career of Walt Disney and his brother, Roy Disney. Here is some more art created during the making of the Disney Treasure, including some samples of the numbers that go onto the vessel's staterooms. Palace Treasures, which is also on Deck 3, is the ship's jewelry store. You better have deep pockets when you shop here. Royal Regalia is also another jewelry store on Deck 3. Here's a quick look inside. Once Upon a Time and 3 Wishes are both jewelry stores on Deck 3 that are connected to each other. In these 2 stores, they have watches for sale. Decks 3 and 5 are primarily the decks where there is shopping on the Disney Treasure. Treasures Untold does remind me of Macy's. The Scat Cat Lounge is another bar located on Deck 3. The most popular bar on Deck 3 is the Haunted Mansion Parlor, which we will be visiting a little later. This is the only spot on the vessel I found that has a grand piano. This looks pretty cool. Scat Cat Lounge can also provide beverages to people next to the Deck 3 entrance to the Oceaneer Club. You see this mat being set up in the Grand Atrium? That is for the Jack-Jack Diaper Dash. It will start at 11:30. I knew that because it was one of the events that was listed on the Disney Cruise Line app. You can also use the app to find the current location of the ship. Now we know where the start and finish will be. The Jack-Jack Diaper Dash is a baby race they have on Disney cruises in the Grand Atrium. Jack-Jack is the baby in both The Incredibles 1 and 2. At maximum, there are 5 babies competing, but today there are only 3. Parents are allowed to stand at both ends to encourage their babies to move. It's obvious they are hardly moving because babies are probably confused by all the cheering. If one of the babies competing in the race walks, even if it was their first time walking, they are disqualified. The baby in the middle was attracted to food, which is how the mother got the baby to move to the finish. Now they are going to have a second place winner. Sometimes the babies competing don't crawl in a straight line and crawl off the track. Finally, that did take a while. Let's get lunch. Time-lapse can show you just how unsteady the ocean is. When we were eating at the Marceline Market, we had been feeling propeller vibrations on occasion because the Marceline Market is on deck 11 aft. For lunch, I chose more pepperoni pizza at Pizza Pies. Deck 4 has salons for both men and women. The one for females is the Untangled Salon. This looks like a place where girls can get their nails done. It also looks like the place where girls can get haircuts on the vessel. The Hook's Barbery is where the boys go to get their haircuts and have bourbon tasting events. Both Hook's Barbery and the Untangled Salon can also be found on the Disney Wish and are not included in your cruise fare. What we see here is a boutique where younger girls can get their Disney princess costumes, if they want one. You can book a future cruise at these desks on Deck 4. Here's the entrance to the Edge Club on Deck 5 aft. Edge is for anybody 11 to 14 years old. I recommend getting a placeholder for your next cruise. It's $250. Based on my observations on the ship, Mickey's Mainsail looks like it's the largest Disney store on the Disney Treasure. This is where you can find souvenirs and some toiletries. Disney's Vacation Club is a vacation timeshare program owned and operated by Disney Vacation Development. And over here is a space for Disney Vacation Club. The store with beach supplies is Dory's Forget-Me-Nots on Deck 11. This was the only shop I've seen on the vessel that has things like sunscreen and towels. Alright, it's now time to tour the Haunted Mansion Parlor. Unlike the Disney Wish with the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge, the Disney Treasure has the Haunted Mansion Parlor, which is a parlor that serves alcoholic drinks and is themed around the Haunted Mansion, a ride at Disneyland in California and Magic Kingdom in Florida. This makes the Haunted Mansion Parlor the first parlor inspired by a Disney attraction. If you were in here for too long, you might start thinking you are in a creepy mansion outside of New Orleans. I like this place a lot, and it looked absolutely real. I was in here for over 2 hours this afternoon, and that was the right timing to come here because most of the ship's passengers were in the Walt Disney Theater watching Moana, because the Disney Treasure debuted the Broadway-style show of Moana. Anyway, I would like to give you a warning that it is very dark in here. There are plenty of spaces to sit besides the bar in front of the screen. Even the paintings on the wall change when coming into contact with the lightning. You couldn't see it, but this box opens at certain points. Wait, what's going on? The paintings are melting. This is crazy! They are turning into their scary versions. Imagineers had to look at the Haunted Mansion attraction at Disneyland or Magic Kingdom to get inspiration for the blueprints for the Haunted Mansion Parlor. When the paintings are in their scary versions, they make movements occasionally. Some of them are hard to see moving. When the show is happening, I'll show you how this parlor is a prime example of Walt Disney Imagineering on the Treasure. In the daytime, the Haunted Mansion Parlor is open to all ages, but by 9 o'clock p.m., it's an adults-only venue. They do let people sit in here just to see the place. There goes a prompt from the ride. That's the ghost clock. Because the Haunted Mansion Parlor is dark, they have the menus on tablets. Here are the different options they have. Anything you get from here is not included with your cruise fare. One of the drinks on the menu has fog and a print that is only seen by a special light the waiters carry around. Some paintings in here move and talk. That's crazy! This fish tank just has dead fish, and they are also talking. The idea of something like this was decades old, but because the necessary technology is available, they were able to put it on the Disney treasure. That screen behind the bar is meant to serve as a mirror to try to show people that the ghosts are there with them in the parlor. Making the fish appear on both sides was difficult. They appear at certain points and disappear. Geez, this fish is huge. I wonder what type he is. This guy doesn't have enough space to swim laps in the tank. Besides fish, there are also dead seahorses in here as well. I do have the feeling of calling this the haunted fish tank. They say the hitchhiking ghosts will haunt you until you return. You could say that happened to me because I couldn't stop coming back here. That was triggered probably because I passed a sensor or something when leaving. Next is Vibe. Vibe is a space for anyone who is 14 to 17 years old. When you are 18, you can go into the vessel's adult sections. Because it's a day at sea, the place is busy. It looks just like the one on the Disney Wish. I honestly think this place looks cooler at night than it does in the day. Vibe is located on Deck 12 aft, right outside the Hero Zone. On the Disney Wish, I thought this area was part of Vibe, but on this cruise, I realized it's different. This is the Hideaway, which looks like either a nightclub or a small parlor. Ice cream is included on the Disney Treasure, but not from here, at this ice cream place themed around Zootopia. I think this place offers real ice cream because you can get your own flavor and put your own toppings on. Here are all the ice cream flavors that they have here. Besides ice cream, they also have gelato. Here are all of the toppings you can put on your ice cream. I got Oreos and gummy bears. Here are some other delicious treats they have. Anything that comes out of here, you do have to pay for it. Here's my ice cream. It's cookies and cream with Oreos and gummy bears. It was awesome. This is real ice cream. If you want real ice cream, I recommend giving this place a try on a day at sea. Because the seas are rough and it's way too windy, the Aqua Mouse was closed for the entire day. For dinner tonight, we were assigned to the Worlds of Marvel. There is no show happening here today. Instead, they have trivia, and the quantum cores are programmed for this. How it works is that there are 4 colors: red, blue, purple, and green. The quantum core has 4 buttons. Each button will be lit with each color. You read the question and press which color you like. If you get it right, the core will turn green. If not, it will give you another chance. If you get it wrong the second time, then you can go again. And if you still get it wrong, then it will just give you the answer. For an appetizer I got, once again, the Caesar salad. For my main course, I had the salmon again. I never order off the menu because I'm so picky. Just like that, day 6 is complete. Lucky for us, the bunk beds weren't made before we came back. Instead, we got to watch how they unpack it. For the top bunk, the railings are stored, but when they are up, they are there to prevent the person sleeping on the top from falling. The ladder was in the closet. That's how the top bunk was made. Tomorrow, we will be spending most of our day biking at Castaway Cay, which will be in the next episode. Stay tuned.